Before we get started, I'll go ahead and say this now. I will be participating in Extra Life 2013 2 Saturdays from now. I will not be able to attend the session.
Okay.
Man, is it that time of year already?
Yeah, fucking children. But beyond that, yeah, I'm ready to start with today's session.
Well then, starting point will be 4 days after your the end of the last session. That'll be the time when, unless there's anything you wanted to do beforehand, that'll be the time when Salem gets back to you, the individual you paid to track down the location of Karina. She'll give you a call. Well, she'll give Truthsayer a call and say she's up in town and has the information that you want.
Alright, that definitely sounds like something that Truthsayer would be very interested in getting to know more about. Does she have a specific meet destination since she's up in town?
She can send you the information. If you want her to give, detailed and question her, you can set up a thing. Currently, it's 4 p.m. on the 11th of March. She tells you, whenever you got a thing, I'm going to be up doing a couple of things around town for the rest of the day, and I can fit you in whenever.
Oh. I didn't know whether she actually had a preferred meeting location in the city where she liked to conduct business while she was up here in town.
No, don't really like coming up into the city.
Oh. Okay. Well, in that case, if she would send the information now, just online, since that's clear that she can do that, there might not be any need to question her about it.
Well, the information she has is fairly simplistic. In the El Toro airport, the private airport that primarily goes to Fun City, there's a couple of office buildings. Well, there's a lot of office buildings actually, but there's one in particular that she ended up being drawn to. The Wanderlust El Toro Airport Flight School. She did some poking around astrally, basically just went in real quick and went back out. There's always, security doesn't really like people doing that, like just astrally flying around places, and if whatever spirits are on patrol see that, they usually throw a fit and try to hunt you down. But she just basically ran in and checked the place out because she was drawn to it. She knew that was roughly where her location was. And when she was poking around, she saw inside the foyer, just the main foyer, there's a set of stairs. Inside the stairs, like actually hidden inside the wall of the stairs, and she drew a rough map for you that she sent along. There is, I guess, an elevator or something. From the astral, it just looks like a hole in the ground, and some shadows that you can poke your head through, but it's hard to make out. and it's been warded. So she couldn't go down the shaft itself without, you know, busting through some wards, and it didn't pay her that much to do that much. Can't go through the ground itself because that's, well, really, really dangerous. So you have the where the actual building she is and the where the secret entrance is.
Considering she poked her head in astrally, I suppose she have an idea on how rough the astral security was around that building?
It's pretty much the same as it is all over the airport. It doesn't look like there was any more astral security than normal. The ward itself was pretty strong, though, and it looked like it was just sort of hidden away, like no one could see it from where it was. She didn't manifest or anything. She didn't actually run into any security, so she can't tell you much on the details. She's not, you know, one for going to the airport much. But it's pretty low-level corporate. That said, it is actually Horizon property, so it is extraterritorial property.
Of course, it serves Fun City. God damn it. Alright, let's see, in that case, that would be us. So she, I guess I'm just sort of asking confused here. The link she tracked down to being inside the ward?
You can't sense the links through Earth itself.
Okay.
There's just too much activity. But she did eventually, it took a few days, it took her 4 days to do it. She did eventually sense the link through the ward itself, like she could feel it on the other side of the ward, but she didn't go through the ward. So she knows that's down there, and that's probably the closest path down there, but details beyond that is she doesn't have any. I mean, unless you want her to, you know, just bust through the ward.
No, definitely not. That would give someone an indication that we might be coming. Alright, well...
She actually mentioned that if you want, she can stop by someplace, sit down, and fly there with you real quick.
That'd definitely be useful. That way a Truesayer would have a better sense of what the fuck he's doing if he has to do that at a crunch time. Yeah, Truesayer will definitely take her up on that, sail a month on that offer.
Okay, I've opened another map. Go ahead and copy your token onto it.
Done so, good sir.
Basically, the two of you will... It's technically not illegal to be flying around in the astral. Well, I mean, Horizon may have exact regulations that's different from PCC, but PCC areas, there's all sorts of things flying around in the astral all the time. It's really unregulated in that it's a Nan nation.
I mentioned that this is Los Angeles, which is a little bit more, I suppose, awakened, unstable than other areas. Is that a correct term?
Yeah, it is a little bit more dangerous than normal, but it's still, I mean, legally, it's no real big deal. She'll fly you basically straight in and tell you, you should be able to see my cursor. Up here is where the actual elevator is. Yeah, the stairs themselves are an object, but there's this little tiny layer of marble-looking stuff that's actually the elevator object. And underneath that main heading up there, that main landing, is where the actual elevator is.
All right. That's great. I don't think my character has any desire to sort of pepper Salem with questions on account of the fact that, she could be lying and Trusair is failing to catch that, but considering how few people are capable of tracking sympathetic links, and how she was willing to do like sort of like a pickup for them, even for 5,000 new yen, it's, Trusair doesn't exactly feel out of his way to try to inconvenience her. Got like some questions basically out. Of course, she didn't want to delve into the earth because she wasn't paid enough for that, and this looks like something that he can scout out astrally, I suppose, without her, and of course tell the others, which of course will undoubtedly tell Conrad, because I'm sure they never ever bothered to try to find a way to not have Conrad be told.
Coyote got rid of the disposable comlink. So Coyote should be safe from it unless Conrad somehow got back on his system without him knowing it.
Twitch isn't going to bother getting rid of her disposable comlink until this business with Conrad is over.
Alright. I suppose, is it possible for me to take a look around the rest of the building, since it's not illegal for me to be around here?
You want to do it astrally, or did you want to actually go down there? I mean, if you want to do it astrally, the building itself, the upstairs, I don't actually have drawn out. It's pretty much just unimportant, because you're looking into the elevator, like if you poke your head in and just sort of peer down into the elevator, you can see through the shadow. Yeah, it looks pretty much like an elevator shaft. Poking your head inside the thing around, it's like, yeah, that's an elevator, and the elevator shaft itself is warded. The building itself, you run through it, that would be technically illegal. I mean, it's private property.
Right, I didn't mean like go through it. I just wanted to see if there was any, I suppose, any sort of worth or value or attention to the outside. Like, if there's going to be an actual run that's done on the spot. Trusair, I suppose, wanted to take some time to look at what Horizon has astrally on the El Toro airport.
On the El Toro airport itself, it's a fairly large airport. It's one of the big four, I think, in LA. It is the smallest or second smallest, but it is still a fairly major airport. It handles private flights predominantly, so security is it's sort of this strange line between tight and very unobtrusive. Obviously, the high rollers, they don't want their security in their face, but they also want it doing good. So it's sort of this weird back and forth of exactly where you are. Technically, you're outside the airport itself. You're on the outlines of the airport. This office building is not like in the airport itself. It's just not even a block or two away, though, and pretty much all of these blocks are owned by Horizon or some other corporation that's a subsidiary of it, except for maybe a couple of blocks that are owned by some other AAA.
There's like one of the feeder airports that bring tourists in and out of Fun City? Or is this like, okay, in that case, I would expect security to be just as bad as it is in actual Fun City itself, and any trip-ups on our part is going to undoubtedly result in security breathing down our necks really damn fast. Alright. Do any, like, I suppose, like, if Horizon's interested in patrolling their interest, never mind. That's immaterial. Okay, in that case, after taking a look around within the legal areas of, they're not crossing into the building, doing flybys, and attracting attention, Trusair is going to withdraw back to his body in the meat world. And and he will give, considering the fact that even Vice was on this job, he will give Vice, Coyote, and Twitch a call as well.
Coyote will answer.
Yeah, unless something else is pressing, Twitch will answer as well.
Yeah, you know where Vice is. That said, he's in a quantum state of whatever happens to be most, relevant to the storyline afterwards.
Okay. Trusair will begin by saying, Salem contacted me, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. She tracked the sympathetic link of Karina to El Toro Airport, more specifically a sort of little outlying office building, sort of just outside on the outskirts of El Toro Airport itself. On the first floor, there's an elevator shaft embedded and contained within a staircase that's heavily warded, and it leads below ground. Salem deduced that the sympathetic link was on the other side of that ward. She did not explore there further because that would involve going underground, and she was not paid enough for that. And, of course, the heavy risk being involved as well of catching Horizon's eye.
Makes perfect sense. I'm surprised she even got that close. That was she was definitely worth the $5,000, I think. I also have a little bit of news. Last night I was having a drink with Snowman, and he mentioned that he was willing to tell us who that Johnson was working for, although I think we've already pieced together that he worked for Horizon, but maybe not. Maybe there's more to the story. And he said there might be some more information he'd be willing to trade. But yeah, that Johnson apparently died almost immediately after we did that run for him. He was just a loose end, apparently.
Typical.
Yeah, so it's up to you whether we take Snowman up on the offer. I'm not sure what he wants to trade us for, and I'm not sure if he'll give us enough new information for it to be worthwhile, but I figured I'd run it by you.
Certainly couldn't hurt. It's going to take us some time anyway to try to scope out this particular building on account of the fact that we don't know exactly what's on the other side of the ward, and we won't know until we actually run at it.
Right. Maybe Snowman knows something about this, what was it, Wanderlust you said it was called?
Wanderlust Toro Airport Flight School. Specifically, most of you probably would know that Wanderlust is a direct subsidiary of Horizon, meaning there's no middle ground. It's directly owned by Horizon, and everything it does is considered done by Horizon, so its property is extraterritorial property.
I suppose since everyone knows Wanderlust is a direct subsidiary of Horizon, then the same protection applies. I didn't know whether Wanderlust actually had enough, was like a single A in its own right.
It's technically a double A corporation in its own right, but because of the way the corporate structure works, it's basically everything that applies to Horizon applies to it. Not all corporations do that. Like Aztechology owns a number of things in LA, but it's been legally kicked out, so those things don't have the same extraterritorial property rights and things like that, nor do they have the normal Aztechology troops patrolling them. In this case, Wanderlust does have all those things that any other Horizon property would have.
All right. Well, I mean, if there's nothing else, I guess I'll get off the line and give Snowman a call and see what kind of information he has on the on this deal. Maybe he'll give us some more information about what we would find down there.
Or at least what it'll cost us.
Right. I'll ask him and see exactly what data he wants in return, or what cash, depending. And do you want me to get back to you with that, or do you want me just to link you in on the line with him? Either way works.
Whichever you think he would be fine with. I know that some people get spooked with more than one person on the line.
Yeah, I'll do it on my own then. If it's, I'll find some time at that point to let you know what the deal is, and we can. If it seems crazily out of hand, anyway, if it's a really good deal, I might just take it up. But I will definitely get back to you on that.
It's information pertaining to this.
Exactly. With that, Coyote will click off the line, and he will give Snowman a call. Hopefully, I will note that he's doing this from his internal comlink, and he did do a diagnostic on it to make sure that Conrad doesn't have a bug on it, but he will not have done it after leaving that call. So if Conrad got it to him from Aaron's character, Twitch, just totally forgot, then was it? Yeah, it's Twitch. All right, then he'll have it on his comlink again.
Yeah, if I remember right, you took Conrad's offer to put his bug on another one of your comlinks, right?
Yeah, it's, I think, even though I deleted it from the character sheet I sent you a couple hours ago, I think I'd be on like the 5th day of that contract. So technically, I could still have that comlink. I was going to dispose of it when the time ran out, but Coyote might still have it, actually.
Yeah, if you're doing that to keep Conrad pacified, not wanting to actually bug you anymore, it makes sense too. That said, Snowman will answer right away. Hello?
Hey, man. I talked to the rest of my crew, and yeah, we'd kind of like a little more information, that information that you offered the other night.
Sure, come down to the bar. Bring whoever you want. And it's straight up just, I want to know more about what's going on, and whatever you have to offer in return, whatever information you have. Just straight up information trade.
All right, sounds good. I think the room downstairs might be the best place to meet if we can swing that.
Well, I always have it. Come down anytime.
All right, see you there shortly. I'm leaving now. And with that, Coyote will send a whatever the 2072 version of a text message is to the other folks and say, if you want to come down to the bar. We'll be in the downstairs room.
Trissair will type back, on my way, but it'll take some time. Depends on traffic.
Well, traffic isn't too bad at the time being.
Well, I also know that Trissair lives a little bit of distance away from the damn thing, and it's not exactly like the entertainment system Cyclops is the greatest, fastest machine flying on the roads.
It's only 2 more miles than Coyote does, and he has to go through side streets rather than the highway like you can.
But this is 2072, right? Oh my goodness.
Is Twitch going to show up?
Yeah, I mean, unless she has something else pending.
Oh, I don't even have Skype open anymore, so I don't know what that message was I sent everyone. Jeez,
I don't think she has anything else pending.
I completely forgot which yours was. That said, she probably doesn't. So you all show up. Well, you all show up after Twitch does. And as soon as you step inside, one of the girls there will tell you Snowman's already down there.
Coyote will nod and head that direction.
Yeah, Twitch will head down too.
Going down there will be same as always. One of the girls takes you, opens the door for you, unlocks it, closes it behind you. It's he's sitting there on across the table, a few chairs just sort of thrown out. Didn't really set any. It doesn't look like he really bothered to set it up at all. Seems to be happy to see you. Says, "Well, here we are. He'll pull out a data stick and put it on the table. I have a few details on the guy who actually hired you. Short is he works for Wanderlust as a board member, essentially. The way Horizon's corporate structure work is, I fucking hate it. It's annoying as shit to keep track of who's who. But, he doesn't really seem to be much of anyone other than normal corporate dog. And I've seen this. How I got in contact was he called me, the Johnson called me. My name's out there, and I just sort of take calls sometimes. Looked in, did details. Nothing showed up as a red flag, so I just took it. Said I'd put a team together, grabbed whoever. Guess that was you. And not guess, but I just sort of tossed it together, and when everything went over, it was just normal run. But tracing it back, that guy, James Baker, he seems to be something more than what any files on him indicate. And after his little monologue, he'll sort of sit back.
More how?
Well, his files... There's an image of him, by the way. His files seem to indicate that he's just sort of a normal day-to-day corporate goon. But they're just too cut and dry. They're just too... he just sort of crops out of... have you ever heard about the rumors behind Gary Klein? And that any of you that have a knowledge in that area might make would be able to make a roll. Tridio knowledge would be very apt here.
All right. Well, I can roll a 6 for that.
Character has his news, and he'd probably be like, "What rumors haven't I heard?" There's just so much dumb shit.
Yeah, he can probably roll his news knowledge too. Well, news, this isn't something news would normally report on, but anyone that's interested in Tritio, and one of the biggest Tritio stars now is Klein. So Coyote's probably heard about these rumors. There doesn't seem to be anything to indicate that Klein did anything, any work, before he just showed up for Horizon. Like, there's backlogs, but he's heard rumors that no one remembers seeing those videos at all, or those Tridios at all, before he just sort of appeared with Horizon. And it's just sort of this weird, he just popped out of nowhere and suddenly became a star sort of phenomenon that there's not much to go on, because there's proof, or there seems to be proof, that he existed before that, but it's like no one seems to actually remember it. When Snowman sees sort of the recognition on Coyote's face, he'll say, "Yeah, it's just he pops out of nowhere. This history files on him exists, but it's just there's no real hard proof that he ever existed. Like, there's nothing where I can point and say, yeah, that means that he must have been around." And I mean, even being sinless, there's something out there, right? There's always something. It's even after the crashes, the Matrix never forgets.
Right. So what you're saying is that Horizon was able to manifest another person just out of the ether.
Well, that's what it seems like. And been poking around, and I've been hearing more and more rumors about Horizon doing stuff like this. Like, these people just appear, and they're good at what they do. They're smart. They're capable. They're loyal to Horizon. They're basically the perfect corporate goons. And it's just there's just this sort of strange background when you get beyond Horizon. It just sort of doesn't seem to all add up.
Well, that's a little disconcerting. I'm not sure where we go from that. And he'll look to the other two questioningly.
Well, whatever you're dealing with this, I know he's currently working for Wanderlust as a board member, so whatever you're doing, and I recommend poking around Wanderlust. That would be the first obvious thing. I wouldn't know where to start with that, though. I imagine some corporate office, but that's my end. And basically, what can you fill me in on the other end?
Right. With that, Coyote will, on the mention of Wanderlust for the second time, he'll actually glance at Truthsayer. He'll keep his mouth shut, but I don't know. He doesn't know whether Truthsayer wants to talk about their lead with Wanderlust yet.
Truthsayer returns Coyote's look, shrugs at him.
Yeah. The work we're doing for this, I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure Coyote told Snowman about Conrad already. The work we're doing for Conrad, tracking down this girl, has actually led to the Wanderlust school at the airport, and that was actually our next stop.
I don't do much stuff going in or out of the airports. It was an old standby a couple of years ago that you didn't do anything to run against Horizon. It was just sort of bad juju. And so I can't really help you much with that.
Right.
And then to just essentially shorten this a little bit, because I essentially the amount Snowman's been filled in on, if I recall correctly, is essentially Conrad showed back up at some point, and that was about all the information he got.
Right. I think Cody mentioned that Conrad's people were pelting Twitch with gunfire, or her house anyway, and if he didn't say it outright, it was implicit that Conrad was after his sister. I mean, that would have been the logical thing. But yeah, other than that, he doesn't know that we went back down to the Incognito zone, and he definitely doesn't know that we got that vial. And that's something that Coyote is not going to unilaterally tell him. He's not sure what to do with that information, to be honest.
Yeah, Twitch isn't going to volunteer that either.
Well, it doesn't sound like Truthsayer's divulging anything, so he sort of just leaves it hanging as any more information. If not, I mean, I guess we're done here.
Yeah, basically, the Coyote will fill him in on essentially what's gone on, except for getting the vial of whatever. But he will mention.
I mean, there was this pretty interesting moment where apparently Conrad is in the possession of a virus so powerful that it apparently got into some members of the team's comm links and altered the settings and hid itself so that it permanently and continued to broadcast audio feed to him.
Right. Yeah, that's what Coyote was going to mention. He's going to say, and my disposable comlink is still infected with that, which is why I really wanted to meet in this room, actually. I don't know about the other two, but I still have it running just to keep Conrad placated for the moment.
Twitch will nod at that.
Well, if it was just your disposable, I mean, it's not like you got anything important, so...
Yeah, well, he got into my internal comlink, actually. I purged him and moved it to the disposable just to keep him happy, because he was adamant about having it somewhere on my person.
Considering how surprised you sounded, though, Coyote, it sounds like that was some sort of special program there that Conrad apparently had access to, or that he made.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. It was rather good, and I actually, while I was driving back from the warehouse with y'all, I had a conversation with him. That whole conversation where I said I'm purging it from my internal comlink, and I asked him if I could get a copy of it as part of the payment for doing this, and he said that it wouldn't work at all for me. So it might be...
Okay, can I get a memory roll from Twitch?
All right. That's willpower plus logic.
Yes. And I don't think anyone else has anything that would be pertinent at all to knowing about this.